The way we consume and share news today, it is largely rooted in social media outlets. A reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online, like a BTS Lego set, someone knocking over Jeff Koons Balloon Dog sculpture. Ow. Really, ouch. We get the latest trends for a daily social media minute. We're joined by Erica. Good morning.
Hey.
I saw the pictures. I saw a rather uncomfortable set of discussion happening online. Who pays for the broken sculpture? Did people really want to bid on the broken pieces?
Yes.
Things like that. All right, but first up, BTS. Who else? Is this a new marker of success? You need Lego versions of your music video set?
I think it's definitely one of the markers of success. Lego announced last week, actually, that it's collaborating with the K-pop group on a new Lego set, and it features blocks that replicate some of the scenes from BTS's music video for their hit song Dynamite. That includes like a record store, a donut shop, basketball court, and a stage, of course. The set includes miniature figures of the 7 members, and it also has this awesome mechanism that allows them to move in sync when they're positioned on the stage.
And we're now streaming the image of what that Lego set looks like. I've got to say, after all these years, still cute and still signature Lego. I mean, we're not endorsing it. It's just, it's causing so much buzz online.
That's right.
I remember the last big one. Did they have the Friends set, right? Turned into a Lego set?
My goodness. I completely forgot about that.
And
but
Seinfeld. I believe I might be misquoting an article I read, but my point being, okay, BTS, you've made it.
That's right.
To the Lego stage. It's also important for the fans because the deal also marks one of BTS's first major collaborations since they announced that they would focus on their solo activities, take time away from each other.
Yeah, it's not, it's temporary.
Okay.
We have to stress that. It also comes as Jin became the first of the group to start serving in the military last year. The enlistment of the remaining 6 members isn't that far off, and the band isn't expected to fully reunite until 2025.
Okay, so BTS, what does it mean for Hybe Entertainment, who is in the headlines just about every day for a whole different story? I'm not going to peek in that door just yet. BTS accounted for about, get this, 67% of the revenue of its management agency, Hybe. When BTS announced its break, which was, like you said, supposed to be temporary back in the month of June, shares in the company dropped nearly 25%. That's how much influence they wield.
That's mind-boggling. 25%. Now, Hybe has been trying to diversify its revenue sources by growing its artist roster. The agency also launched a tender offer to buy a quarter of one of its biggest rivals, SM Entertainment. Again, that's a whole other story, so we're not going to get into that today. But BTS remains crucial to Hybe's success. And this latest collaboration with Lego is going to test if the group's brand licensing deals can prove to be fruitful for Hybe, even without the members of BTS physically promoting these deals as a group. Now, many fans say they learned about the latest collaboration through a fan-run social media accounts, as well as hashtags, rather than through Hybe or BTS members. And for those of you who are curious, the Lego set is based on a design that was submitted by a pair of Lego and BTS enthusiasts.
No.
It's part of the Lego Ideas line of products. It's not cheap though. Right. The set, which consists of 749 pieces, costs $99.99. And some BTS fans have expressed concern over the price. For many others, buying merch is it's a large part of the fan experience.
And especially when you're deprived of seeing all the members together there, this might be something they want to reach out for. $100, it's a little bit pricey for a collectible, right? Yes. But I mean, to be fair, most of these creative on-set sort of replicas of Lego sets have always been a little bit pricey.
That's right.
So it's not unique to the brand. I didn't know they were taking ideas. I have so many ideas. I mean, if they're taking any ideas, I mean, I don't have an army fan base to rally behind me, but you know, maybe if it's a good one,
go for it.
All right, I'll tell you if it's successful. Otherwise, the story ends here. On to our second story today. Roald Dahl's books controversially rewritten. Oh dear. To remove language that was deemed offensive. It's tricky, right?
Yeah.
Times change. How we view certain contents change. What is PC changes.
That's right. You know, I, as a person who grew up with Roald Dahl books, I mean, I probably read all of them, you know, as a child, and I loved his books. The headline, this title fascinated me for so many different reasons. So let me tell you the story first. So Roald Dahl publisher Puffin has hired what they call sensitivity readers to write chunks of Roald Dahl's text to make sure the books can continue to be enjoyed by everyone today. And this has resulted in extensive changes across his work.
I must say, that must be a new job title. Sensitivity readers, reflection of sensitive times. Can you give us some examples?
Sure. So edits have been made to descriptions of characters' physical appearances. For example, the word fat has been cut off from every new edition of relevant books. The word ugly has also been removed. For example, Augustus Gloop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is now described as not fat, but enormous.
Oh, I can live with that.
Yeah. In the Twits, Mrs. Twit is no longer ugly and beastly, but just beastly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's more. In The Witches, a paragraph explaining that witches are bald beneath their wigs ends with this new line, quote, "There are plenty of other reasons why women might wear wigs, and there is certainly nothing wrong with that."
Okay.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this?
Because the sentence was, it's been newly created and added. Roald Dahl didn't write this.
Oh, I see. So that didn't exist in the original.
Correct.
Okay.
To make it more PC. References to female characters have disappeared as well. So Miss Trunchbull in Matilda,
the villain,
yes, exactly, is now not the most formidable female. She is now a most formidable woman. I can live with that.
I can live with that too. I feel like some of those changes are minor enough that it doesn't, maybe in my humble opinion, compromise the integrity of the original. But I can see why this could be a touchy subject.
Exactly. I do want to add one more though. A gender-neutral terms have been added in places. For example, the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory were small men. They're now small people.
Why is that necessary? Okay.
Because, you know, gender neutrality
is so important.
Yes.
But maybe we should take into consideration when the books were written. Okay, fine.
So hundreds of changes were made to the original text. And again, some passages not written by Roald Dahl have been added as well. Now, the company, the Roald Dahl Story Company, says it's not unusual to review the language during a new print run, and any changes were small and carefully considered. However, there were harsh critics of this, including the Booker Prize winner, author Sir Salman Rushdie, who said that the publishers, Puffin Books, and the Roald Dahl Story Company should be ashamed. He said, quote, in his Twitter, "Roald Dahl was no angel, but this is absurd censorship."
Okay.
Yeah.
So opinions are split, and of course there are big critics of these kinds of changes, because most importantly, you didn't get the approval of the author.
Correct.
I think that's where I would feel most uncomfortable.
My question is, are they making these changes because they are children's books? Because, I mean, take a look at Jane Austen, for example. It's so outdated. If you think about the cultural context.
Exactly. Yeah. Do we completely scrap then Pride and Prejudice because it's dated and it maybe belittles women's role in society? Or is it a reflection of a completely different time? And it's important to be aware of those times and be able to discern what was then and what is now. Give children a break. You know, they're actually much smarter than you think.
Yeah. You know, one author said, just let his books go out of print. You know, if people people no longer want to read Roald Dahl's books because, some of the expressions are insensitive to people living in this day and age, then let them not buy them anymore because there are plenty of other books that are, PC.
You know what? And I think what's important is that it stirs up important conversations, and we should talk about this. And censorship is probably not the best way or the most authentic way to get the job done. We're a little biased here.
Yeah.
I'm realizing I'm a little defensive.
Yeah, there are opinions, strong opinions on both sides of the spectrum. So
pick your side. On to our final story today. If you have seen the images, it is a shattered image of a rather expensive, iconic Jeff Koons Balloon Dog sculpture in Miami.
When we go to art galleries, you often see the sign, "Please don't touch the work." And one woman was reminded recently as to why these signs are still needed. So art lovers in Miami, Florida, they were actually horrified when a collector last week accidentally knocked over a $42,000 sculpture by U.S. pop artist Jeff Koons. And according to the witnesses, she had tapped it with her finger. Is this a balloon? Is this porcelain? I don't know.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, the statue smashed into tiny shards. We're streaming the image now, and they had to be swept into dustpans by the gallery staff. Now, the accident happened during an exclusive VIP-only event, and at first people wondered if it was part of a performance piece, and then they quickly realized it was an accident. And luckily for the woman, the piece is covered by insurance. And, apparently the woman apologized profusely, saying, "I'm so very, very sorry." And
she turned bright red. She wanted to leave
mortified,
the scene.
and she said she just wanted to disappear. Now, the sculpture was part of a limited edition, which is now shrunk from 799 to 798.
And if I know anything about the art world, this has just appreciated the price of the 798 because some people really wanted to ask, "Hey, can I bid on those broken, shattered pieces of Jeff Koons?"
Yes, people have actually done that.
Yeah.
They've offered to buy the broken pieces.
Okay.
Now, Jeff Koons has not made a public comment on the incident yet, but we do know that his balloon dog sculptures are among the most iconic works of contemporary art. Back in 2019, he made history when his rabbit sculpture sold at an auction for $91.9 million, which was the highest sale price ever for a living artist.
I mean, some of his pieces are absolutely huge. It towers over people.
Like 3 meters tall.
Yeah, but this balloon was relatively small.
It's like 40 centimeters tall.
And it could be knocked over. Yeah. Don't touch the artwork. This is why the signs are up there.
Yes.
It's most ironic because it was a VIP showing, right? This is where they sell artwork.
That's right. Actually sell and people actually buy.
Is anyone else laughing a little bit? Because, I mean, the fact that Jeff Koons' modern pieces cost this much, that could be a point of contention, too. And there's something humorous about all of this. I mean, Banksy destroyed his own art.
Right.
And some people thought, hey, was this
he put it in the paper shredder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shredded his art. No, this was not part of it. But hey, what can you do?
I know.
It was insured.
Yep. It was insured and it was an accident.
Thanks, Yerika.
Pleasure.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.